It's hard to be a good parent, but of all the things you're doing to better your child's future, few are as important as keeping their vision sharp. MySight One Day are the only contact lenses that can correct and help protect your growing child's blurry vision from getting worse. Because while their future may be unclear, their vision shouldn't be. Learn more at MySight.com. MySight today, anything tomorrow. Ask your eye care practitioner if your child is a candidate for MySight One Day and review important safety information at MySight.com/safety.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Have you seen the latest essentials from Express? They are so good. Super easy, everyday pieces that go with everything you already own. Seriously, like these Pima cotton tees, I mean, give me one in every color. Or their 1MX shirts, hands down the best button-downs out there. And don't get me started on that denim. I never knew a pair of jeans could fit me this well. I'm telling you, get in-store or online at Express.com now to shop the new essentials at Express. You won't regret it.
Back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankle. Throws. It is caught. Touchdown! Drops back to goal. It's picked up. Touchdown! Under pressure. Ball is through.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. I came to win. Battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up. Punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole.
I like analysis and all that great stuff, and it all leads to the big game tonight, happening about what would you say, about 4 miles from us over at NRG Stadium,
give or take.
Sunday night football. Texans hosting the Chicago Bears. A lot of hype there with Chicago. They win last week, man, in a remarkable fashion, being down by 17. Get it done there over the Tennessee Titans, and tonight they are in town. The orange and blue. They're gonna be ready tonight. You got two great quarterbacks there. C.J. Stroud tonight, just gonna be C.J. Stroud, man. Or whatever you thought last year, if you thought it was a fluke, think again.
Yeah,
this
right.
kid's the real deal.
He is legit. And one thing for Chicago fans, man, I tell you what, they had a good win in week 2, but there is no Will Levis dishing out easy 6-point returns when you're in Houston. So it's going to be a little different for their defense. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out.
So cannot wait. One reason why we're on early, okay? So you think we want to sit here and miss the game? What could be the game of the year? I mean, this is really, really going to be. It's top billing there. It's been marketed very well. This hour, we will continue our updates, including this week's What Had Happened Was segment. And, I think we should just go ahead and go into it right now.
What had happened was...
What had happened was...
What had happened was...
Yeah, what had happened was the Dallas Cowboys were supposed to win their home opener in Arlington, Texas. Dak Prescott made quick work of the Cleveland Browns last week after just, signing that multi-million-dollar contract, which, was I'm never going to say what anyone should or shouldn't have. I mean, it's not my money, of course.
Yeah.
But I was happy for him, okay?
Absolutely.
But you got to know that what comes with that is expectations. And we all know when you expectations and Jerry Jones, you have to mention those in the same sentence, right? And today, the Dallas Cowboys, I just didn't see this coming. I mean, look, right now in Arizona, it's 34-3. So the Cardinals, I think we're going to have 2 today. What had happened was
worth it,
because we're watching what's happening to the Rams. But there's still a lot of time. And one thing you know about the quarterback of the Rams is that he can come back.
It doesn't take a lot of time, and
he can put up a lot of points there. But let's talk about what had happened, and that is the Dallas Cowboys lose today 44-19 at home to the New Orleans Saints. That's what, 20 or 25 points. Who saw this coming?
Say that for me one more time.
Who saw this coming?
Oh, probably nobody, unless you're a diehard Saints fan, which after week 1, all of us could have probably seen some amount of this coming. But, man, the Saints just hit them in the mouth. They started hot, finished hot, and they were hot the entire game. That it looked bad for Dallas.
Derek Carr, through 2 weeks of football, as you said earlier, looks like the MVP.
Looks like
the
the
league.
early MVP. Yeah, I mean, that's one I didn't see coming. Derek Carr looks like his career has been rejuvenated. You know, it felt like he didn't even want to be in New Orleans last year.
Yeah,
and now, man, he is just dealing that ball.
I mean, this is crazy. So his stats for the day, look, they only put it up 16 times.
Yeah.
Because Alvin Kamara, who 20 attempts, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. And, I mean, look, this is just an incredible win. Carr, 11 of 16, 243, 2 touchdowns. And he had a pick that it didn't really matter. Still had a 125 quarterback rating. But this is incredible. They controlled this game, 24 first downs. The one turnover, which didn't really bother them compared to Dallas. 6 touchdowns to the Cowboys, 1.
To this stud Dallas defense. It's worth noting that the defense was, one of those things that was touted in Dallas as this great thing, and then the Saints just obliterated them.
Yeah, this was crazy. And look, and we talked about this. No one picked the Saints to win the NFC South. I picked the Falcons to win, but the Saints are 2-0. But look, we also mentioned here that Super Bowl 59 is going to be played where?
It is in New Orleans, MeanGene.
Okay, so
extra incentive for the Saints to be good this year. Yeah, play in front of your home. Could you imagine, as an NFL player, playing the Super Bowl in front of your home fans? It's one thing if they travel to see you play. It's another if they wake up and they're already in the city.
You know what I like to see? I like to see the Saints and the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. You remember?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, in the playoffs. I mean, because there's a history between those teams, right? But no, I mean, then you got 2 unexpected teams that are 2-0, and this is incredible stuff here. And I mean, look, the Cowboys. I don't know. I haven't seen the press conference of anything. CeeDee Lamb gets in the end zone today. He was targeted. Believe it or not, Tolbert was targeted more times than CeeDee Lamb, maybe because double coverage on Lamb or not. But Dak Prescott, I mean, he coughed it up there, and that's something that
can't do.
AJ, I mean, look, Dak is going to be under a lot of pressure, but to cough it up today, that just shows old flashes of the old Dak. So, Cowboy fans a little worried or what?
Well, okay, if you're a reasonable Cowboys fan like me, it's not all on Dak. I mean, he's trying to come back from behind the whole entire game. Run defense was awful, like it has been the past few years. They were really feeling themselves, honestly, from that Week 1 win against the Browns, because everybody talking about them, how they killed Deshaun Watson and all that stuff. They just got to keep things in perspective. Like, my thing, because I'm only 22, I haven't seen them win significantly, but they try to ride the coattails of the players in the past. Like, y'all haven't done anything. It's playing with privilege. Like, it's really annoying. I can go on a tangent about this, but it's just annoying.
I feel you. I mean, look, you got to win your season opener. I think everyone, I don't know what the point spread, Jacob, was on this, but I know for a fact
Dallas was favored.
Dallas was favored to win this game. And, and when I saw that touchdown pass, I mean, every time I would take my eyes off the game, every time I would look, the Saints are in the end zone. But Alvin Kamara is this guy. I mean, this guy's been around for a while now. He's one of the elite guys in the league. So let's get some soundbite from that Cowboys Saints game there today in Arlington.
Barr takes the snap, looks to throw. Here comes pressure. He hits Kamara across the middle. Kamara in the run. Inside Dallas, 40, 35, 30. Got a blocker. You ain't going to catch him. Not Alvin Kamara. See you later. Bye. Touchdown, Alvin Kamara.
And this is, I mean, can you believe that? This year, I mean, I don't know. How old is Kamara? I mean, he's been around for some years now.
He's right under 30, right? He's like 28. He's 29 years old.
I think it's something like that,
Yeah, he's up there.
It's just
over the hill is 30, so Kamara should be
but it just
down
seems like
he's
just been doing. He's been playing for 10, 15 years already.
Age is like fine wine. Every year it just gets better. And then as a side note, right, Rashid Shaheed has came on real big for the Saints these first 2 weeks. He's one of the top 3 fantasy wide receivers. He played well last season, but is more of a boom-bust player he's looked fantastic 2 consecutive weeks in a row here in the 2024-2025 season.
Yeah, I mean, no one saw this coming. And look, I don't know who they play next week, but this is just incredible. If you're a Saints fans, and look, we're going to be in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59, so I cannot wait to do the show from there. But man, if the Saints are there, I don't know how the NFC is going to shape up with the loss to the 49ers today. Man, I would have to say it's up for grabs right now, even through week 2. But you got a couple of 2-0 teams, and you can't count out the Eagles. We'll see them tomorrow night, of course.
Yeah.
But who knows the way this week has been going? If the Falcons go in there and beat the Eagles, the cream of the crop in the NFC is the Vikings and the Saints.
If the Eagles end up
If
the Eagles end up losing, there's going to be nothing but
you don't want to hear that, do you? I know. Look, hey, it's facts, baby. Facts.
Week 2 facts. Okay, we'll see like in 5, 6, 7 weeks now where they're looking at.
Well, I mean, look, I know. Look, I can't predict the future, but it's all about right now. Don't take the excitement and glory away from Vikings and Saints fans, because the Saints are playing with a purpose and to become the third team to host and be in the Super Bowl in their own backyard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We'll see.
Especially when the Cowboys are tied in record with the Commanders right now. That's
true, but also teams like the Ravens haven't won a game yet too, though. So I mean, like I said,
it does feel like that's true.
So hey, I mean, look, this is great stuff here. But so I'm sorry, Cowboys fans, you made the what had happened was. Wait a minute. So the Rams, we have an update from Phoenix there, and it is now 34-10. So. They're not quite there yet. So we picked the what had happened was.
It's looking like we picked the right team for what had happened was. Stafford's going to come back a little bit. They're trying.
Stafford, we've seen him in Detroit. This guy has had a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, or I don't think they're going to come back and win this game.
This one feels a little
insurmountable. His numbers could still spike there. What was a blowout, he could kind of make it close in garbage time.
Anything is possible.
We still have a great show for you here in this second hour. Stick around a little bit later. We will have CBSSports.com senior writer Bryan DeArdo is going to join us and talk about the Steelers and the Broncos game, which is going on there in Denver. You're listening to the MeanGene Show with Jacob Meadows and AJ here on ESPN 97.5.
You're listening to the MeanGene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
For the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's MeanGene.
We are back moving it right along here on a Sunday, getting you ready for tonight's Sunday Night Football game. Texans hosting the Chicago Bears is Jacob Meadows and MeanGene, and giving you all of the action from Sunday here. 10 games this morning. I think we have 4 this afternoon, and we had our Thursday night game, and we got our Monday night game. That's 16 games there. But I tell you what, we have, we're streaming on YouTube, and every once in a while we got a smile for the folks out there. Just give them a big smile.
A little smile
on YouTube and Twitch here, and send us your thoughts and comments, and if you have anything there you want to talk about fantasy football here. I realize I didn't give out the number because, we get selfish up here, Jacob. 713-780-3776. If you're Bears fans in town, you bold enough to call us today.
Give us a call.
Give us a call. Texans fans, don't let the Bears take over your show and your station here. Give us a call also, 713-780-3776. Give us the score of the game tonight. I'd like to know what people are thinking about, Jacob.
Just how they think,
because we got to predict this game towards the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to know what people are thinking out there. 713-780-3776. So I said, we got a couple of undefeated teams in the NFC. We talked about the Vikings. We talked about the Saints. But quietly, the Seattle Seahawks are 2-0. And it hasn't really been pretty. And this is under a new head coach here.
Correct.
Not Pete Carroll, which makes us think they made the right decision, John Snyder did.
No kid. I think it was a good thing they kept Pete Carroll on the staff, right? He's still part of the team, just no longer the head coach. He was getting older. It looks like McDonald's doing a bang-up job.
You got to be undefeated as a new head coach there. The Seattle Seahawks win 23-20 in overtime over the New England Patriots. So Patriots get a big win last week, upset win over the Bengals, but they take a loss there at Foxborough. And this Geno Smith, they put the ball in the air 44 times, including that 56-yard bomb
to DK
Metcalf, which was incredible. But how about Jackson Smith and Jigba, who also 117 yards, targeted 16 times. Oh, my goodness.
Pretty sure that's a career high for him in targets. You love to see it because he didn't have necessarily the most impactful rookie season. So it is nice to see Njigba getting cycled through this offense. I mean, he was number 2 to DK Metcalf only. It seems he's taken over for Tyler Lockett at the wide receiver 2 position, at least through 2 weeks this season. And Geno Smith throwing 75% completion rate on 44 passes. Good for him. Geno's no spring chicken, brother, and he was hitting today.
This team is getting it done. Not to mention, no Kenneth Walker in this game, so it was the UCLA product. Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet.
Who got out there. I drafted him. I picked him up from the waivers there quickly once we found out about Kenneth Walker. But not a bad day for him. 14 attempts, 38 yards. He had a long run of 9 yards, but he did get in the end zone.
He did. He also had 5 catches on 5 targets for 31 yards. So, I mean, he was serviceable everywhere they needed him to be. Plus, he capped it with that tutter, which was nice for all of us fantasy owners. But,
and speaking of a fantasy owner here, what you look? I don't think anyone picked up Jacoby Brissett at one particular time. Looked like he got hurt last week in the game versus the Bengals, and not a good game today. He didn't throw a pick. He was 15 to 27. They don't have him throwing the ball that much as compared to what Geno did, but 15 to 27, 150 yards there. And it seems like most of those were targeted to Hunter Henry, the former San Diego Charger tight end.
They were. He's throwing a lot of checkdowns, but Jacoby Brissett might be legit. This is 2 weeks in a row. Again, he's not posting. It's not Tom Brady numbers, right? You're not getting Drew Brees numbers or any of the big quarterbacks. He's not blowing your mind, but 15 to 27 for 149 and the touchdown for a guy that he's a backup, and he looks amazing under Gerard Mayo. He's translated well. Hunter Henry had a crazy game.
I said San Diego Chargers. Did you hear me?
He was a San Diego Charger.
Before they went to LA. To LA, yeah.
It was not wrong. It took a second for that to come. Yeah, he was a San Diego Charger.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, right before that. Incredible. So hey, look, the Patriots are going to have a tough year. But they're 1-1. I guess it's where you want to be through 2 games, better than being 0-2.
It sure is.
And when you look at what's happening with the Miami Dolphins in their own division, it makes you feel confident.
Count your blessings.
That they may not. Look, with Scott, who would you rather have? Skylar Thompson or Jacoby Brissett?
Easy. Jacoby Brissett for sure. Yeah, it's no
that's a no-brainer. So it looks pretty interesting. So I don't know. The Dolphins could turn it around. They could end up getting another quarterback in. How about we give you an update on what's happening in Kansas City as the Chiefs now lead the Cincinnati Bengals 17 to 16 now.
17 to 16. Yep.
With about 8 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the third quarter, it looked like they scored on a 1-yard run there. Or was it a pass to? It was a pass from Mahomes to Morris. Who the hell is Morris?
I have no idea. Izzy, big man touchdown. Let's go,
lineman. Yeah, these are the guys that we cannot draft. In fantasy football. So it's just incredible. There's Andy Reid doing it again, coming up with something that he pulls out of his. Look, hey, whatever it takes there, because they were struggling there. This game looks like it's going to go seesaw. Mahomes is now 13 of 17, 119 yards with 2 touchdowns. And it seems like Rice and Watson are the leading receivers so far in this game. Pacheco has 75 yards on the ground.
He has 75 yards on the ground and another 21 on the ground. Pacheco's having a good year. This is the year of Isaiah Pacheco for the Kansas City Chiefs. But it does seem like Kansas City's finally found their groove a little bit in this game, and no longer are they playing like reactive football. They're proactive football. It does look like they are kind of controlling the direction this game is going in now. So this is gonna be the best game of the day. I would hope.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's probably going to go down to the wire. So nothing has changed in the Pittsburgh-Denver game. With about 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter, Steelers are still up 10-0. And in the fourth quarter now, in Arizona, it is the Cardinals. They still have they just scored again,
40-10.
So I mean, as soon as we mentioned it, it just happened just like that. This time, it looked like there was a
forced fumble.
They
recovered a fumble in the end zone.
Recovered by McBride. So now it's 41-10. So I think it looks like what had happened is going more so towards the Rams and the Cardinals. And let's just talk about this for a minute because, man, I tell you what, the Rams are going to be 0-2, which more than likely is going to be at the bottom of the cellar in the NFC West. They're going to be last place because the 49ers did win.
Yep.
And look like the Cardinals are going to win. And Seattle.
This is a crazy division.
2-0.
Yeah. This is
Go figure.
Competitive. And I never would have guessed the Rams would have been at this in the cellar, especially not after how they played Detroit in week 1. You know, Matt Stafford looked good, albeit they didn't win, but they looked good. And they have fallen flat against this Arizona
team. Who would have thought that the Seattle would be, number one, and you got the 49ers there that are, 1-1. They take a L today, but don't count out the Cardinals now. You got
all of a sudden they have 4 teams in this division that could make a run.
And Kyler Murray's having a hell of a day. He's almost got a perfect quarterback rating: 17-21, 266, 3 touchdowns for a 158.3 quarterback rating. It doesn't get any better.
Insanity. And just as a side note, Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't get a whole lot of work in week 1. There was a lot of chatter about, his usage in the offense and what have you. Currently, he has been targeted 8 times in this game with the 4 receptions mentioned earlier. So he has been targeted 8 total times. It looks like they have definitely ramped up his involvement in this offense, and it's obviously working. So
yeah. So man, this game is it seems like it's getting out of control. And good thing it's in Phoenix because I would think that the Rams fans would have been exiting SoFi.
No joke.
If that was the case. So last week, Jacob, you missed it. We had a caller call in from Tennessee, and he's a Titans fan. He wants us to call him Tommy Titan, and he really just can't call in and gave us fits. Gave AJ. AJ was just cracking up there. He didn't watch he couldn't watch the. What did he say, AJ? He couldn't watch the game at home with his wife, so he went over to his girlfriend's house to watch the game. Anyway, I don't know. We haven't heard from him today because he said he was going to bug us every week. The Jets beat the Titans today in Nashville 24-17. So now there's 2 games that the Titans have lost at home. It was the Bears. And it's something about this number 17 with Tennessee because, they were winning by 17 over the Bears before the Bears won 24-17. Well, guess what happened today? The Jets win 24-17, so they can't get off these numbers here. Good game for from a statistical standpoint, not good for Aaron Rodgers, but the Jets do get a win.
And it's his first victory since his injury.
On the road.
He's got to be flying high right now. I mean, they the opening week, the regular season, I mean, the Jets, they looked like their quarterback hadn't played ball in 2 years, and they were kind of knocking the rust off, and it was nice to see the Jets kind of get it going.
Yeah. I mean, look, they've yet to play a game at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, this has got to be good going into week 3.
That home opener is going to be fun.
The home opener is probably going to be interesting. And, are you nervous if you're Aaron Rodgers? Because you know what happened the home opener.
The last time.
Last year. There's got to be some nerves, some nerves there. So, what'd you say, AJ?
The turf.
Oh, yeah, that turf. Well, I think they probably fixed it up there a little bit.
I hope so.
That's interesting. But I tell you what, anyway, Will Levis just made one bonehead play after another today, and that's got to worry the Titans fans. Look, you see Malik Willis having a great day, and I don't know where Ryan Tannehill is. He's gone.
He was vying for the backup position for the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, I think right now you would probably take anything. Will Levis just, not a great day today.
He has not looked good. I was a Will Levis believer, despite being a diehard Houston fan, right? I drafted Will Levis in 2 of my fantasy leagues, and the development that we saw at the back end of last season for Will Levis has not transferred over to this year. He looks lost. They went out, they got him a couple more weapons. I mean, Calvin Ridley's in Tennessee now. They
really had a good day today.
Will Levis is just not doing it. It's got to be the mental part of the game. Things are moving too fast for him still. There's got to be some
the mayonnaise in the damn coffee is what doing
It's the mayonnaise in the coffee, man.
I mean, who does that, right?
Jeez, it's throwing off his whole game. Stop drinking it the morning of the game.
Just leave that mayonnaise out of your coffee. All right, we are at the bottom of the second hour. When we come back, we will have CBSSports.com senior writer Bryan DeArdo is joining us. We're going to be talking AFC, including what the Steelers and the Broncos are doing. You're listening to the Mean Gene Show. Jacob Meadows right here on ESPN 97.5.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
All right, we are back here at the bottom of the second hour here on this early edition of Mean Gene Show. ESPN 97.5 with Jacob Meadows here. Update on the Pittsburgh Steelers and Broncos game. It is now 13-0. And 2 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And on the line to discuss the Pittsburgh Steelers and the AFC North is our great friend from CBSSports.com, senior writer Bryan DeArdo. What's up, Bryan?
Hey, Gene, doing well. How are you doing today?
Hey, doing great, man. You're on with me and Jacob Meadows here, and we're just moving right along here on this Sunday, and it looks like Justin Fields is doing the same.
Yeah, I mean, so far, and thanks again for having me on with you, and it does appear that the Justin Fields is doing an adequate job, but really, the key has been the Steelers' defense. They've done a good job against Bo Nix, and they're taking advantage of a rookie quarterback who's playing that way, and they just ran a really nifty trick play that went for almost 50 yards, and then Nix, 2 plays later, throws an interception to Corey Trice in the end zone. A nice story, a second-year player who didn't play at all his rookie year, had a season-ending knee injury, but really the Steelers' 13-0 lead could have been more if not for a couple of holding calls against Broderick Jones. Again, one of them negated a 51-yard completion from Fields to George Pickens. But yeah, overall, he's looked sharp. Now, obviously, the Steelers haven't played, the top of the heap. They're not the Bengals, for example, right now in Kansas City, but they're taking, they're so far. I mean, Atlanta last week supposed to be a decent team, and now Denver. Still a team, on the come up. So far, so good, but that defense so far looks really, really good.
So, Bryan, this is Jacob. How are you, man? It's cool having you back on. We've talked previously before, but
always great with you. Yeah, always great to talk with you.
Do you like what you're seeing out of the Pittsburgh rushing game? I mean, I agree with you that their defense is what's really running the show right now. But them being able to get Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren both involved in the game, does that bode well? Do you think, longevity-wise, you think this is boding well for the Pittsburgh Steelers and that maybe they're finding that offensive identity? Or...
Well, I feel bad right now because Justin Fields just ran over an elderly man on the sideline, so I'm not feeling good for the future, maybe for that gentleman. But the rest of it, I do. I think that the Steelers right now, I mean, and I think that was the difference maybe between them the last couple of years and now is there's a clear identity with Arthur Smith. I mean, and what he wants to do really fits the Steelers' identity and what they are as far as their personnel. And really, you look at 22, even go back to Ben's last season. I mean, every year, they were under 500 at a point, and then they kind of rallied back late in the season to kind of grab or just miss that last playoff spot. And the common thread in all of that was sound running game, really, and play action, the run setting up the pass. And so, yes, I think that this is sustainable as long as Justin Fields or whoever is playing quarterback for Pittsburgh can keep them honest. And, yeah, I mean, Najee Harris last week, 70 yards on 20 carries. Today so far, he's somewhat similar from a stat point, 54 yards on 12 carries, so a little better today. Ward is getting more work. He's still working his way back from the hamstring injury. But, yeah, I do believe that this running game is sustainable. Now, the offensive line is only going to get better as the season goes on. To me, though, the two things I'm worried about for the Steelers as far as the running game is Isaac Samalu, who's still come back from his injury. He didn't play today. And Broderick Jones has really been an issue. He had, I thought, a really good rookie season. Came in, started at right tackle about midway through the season. But he was supposed to be the starting left tackle. He was supposed to have replaced Dan Moore. Well, that never happened. And right now, he's not even starting. Matanu, the rookie's playing ahead of him. So I feel very good about the running game, but those two things, on the offensive line are a little bit concerning.
Once again, it's Bryan DeArdo, CBSSports.com senior writer, joining us here on the Mean Gene Show. Well, look, one of the things I do like about this particular game here is how Justin Fields and the offense is controlling first downs. I mean, they have 15 first downs to the Broncos 5. So that is great dominance right there.
Oh, for sure. And again, I think that I think there's a lot of talk in Pittsburgh about the Patrick Queen signing, and that got a lot of hoopla, deservedly so. But I thought Deshaun Elliott, the veteran safety who has already played for 2 AFC North teams, was a huge acquisition. He had a major stop on Williams for a 4-yard loss on a 3rd and 1 earlier in this game. And then, Dante Jackson. And the thing with Jackson was, I was at camp the first day. That dude just talks and talks and talks. But I love it. I think it's great to have a guy with some swagger on his defense, right? That's not afraid to talk, especially in the AFC North where, the Steelers are going to go against, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. So you're going to go against some quarterbacks that can do things to you. So I think this is the Steelers' best defense in 5 years, I think, since the 19 defense. So the formula is good. The issue for them is they can't get in track meet. So if they play Cincinnati, they've got to make Cincinnati play to their style. Same thing with Baltimore. Same thing, if they face, when they face Kansas City, way down the road. The Steelers are really only built to win, guys, one way, and that's how they played last week, and that's how they've played so far today.
Well, look, I know it's early in this week, too, and, we got to get excited about something. And the fact that, they have an opportunity. I know there's a lot of time left to go in this game. They're just about to start the fourth quarter here. When you're looking at the AFC North here and before the season, I think everyone had their eyes on the Ravens to win that division. But the Ravens find themselves 0-2. They lose to the Chargers today. Did that not surprise you at all?
Yeah, I was surprised. I picked Baltimore to win. But I will say this. I was somewhat concerned with some of their, I don't think they did a lot this year to improve their roster relative to, the Steelers, what they had done. The Bengals, they didn't really, I don't know if they made the roster better, but I thought they did a good job adequately replacing the guys they'd lost, like Tyler Boyd. They get Jermaine Burton. They lose Joe Mixon, but they get Zach Moss. And so I think, what did Baltimore do? I mean, they lost Odell Beckham Jr. He didn't give them a lot, I'll admit, but they really didn't get anybody that could adequately even replace him. So their receiving core, to me, is still weak. Their offensive line, and this isn't the first time with Lamar. Their offensive line is suspect. I remember 3 years ago, the Steelers released basically Villanueva, and he was the starting left tackle, which I love Villanueva. All Steelers fans did. But at that point in his career, he wasn't the Pro Bowl guy that he had been for Big Ben. So, and their secondary wasn't great against the run last year, and they're giving up a lot of big plays in the passing game. Minshew was 30 of 38. That is like some Mahomes stuff. Now, their run defense is still, 27 yards, 17 carries today. That's very good. But again, though, I still like maybe Baltimore's odds against Pittsburgh because Baltimore can still score points. The offense, as I just mentioned, all these offensive issues. The offense isn't the reason why Baltimore lost these games. It's the defense. So that defense, particularly that passing defense, so that team, guys, that was surprising to me, is their pass defense has been the thing that's hurt them so far. And that is what, to me, is concerning. But I don't think Baltimore's making the playoffs. I said that before the season started.
Oh, wow.
I stand by that. I think Pittsburgh takes that division or second. I think Cincinnati wins.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't think Baltimore makes the playoffs.
Well, that's incredible. Now, look, you're gonna have to help us out with something here, because as a writer, I know you put a lot of detail into getting these names right, and we are struggling with the kid on the Bengals team now, because the Bengals are now winning 22-17 here with about less than a minute left to go in this third quarter. Who the heck is this kid? How do you pronounce his name there?
Yoshavash.
I wasn't even close.
Yoshavash. Oh, yeah.
Yoshavash. Yoshi. Yoshavash. Yoshavash.
Yeah, we butchered it up.
That's bad.
Anyway, he'll probably never be a guest on this show. But anyway, we did our best. But look, I mean, the Bengals, Patrick Mahomes is not having a great day there. He's already, he's just struggling there. Was that an interception? I think he's got another. Does he have 2 picks in this game already, I think? So, okay, they called it back. So he did have a interception, but they called it back, so it would have been his second one. But this thing is going seesaw back and forth there, Bryan, and the Bengals. Man, this would be a monumental win on the road if they were to get it.
This would be a big win for the Bengals. I mean, and more so, yes, you beat the Chiefs. Anytime you could beat a rival, the team that's won 2 straight Super Bowls, that's obviously all great. But I think for them, this is a feel-good thing, right? I mean, I feel like the Bengals haven't really had a lot to celebrate since, they beat the Niners last year, I think, to go to 5-3 or something like that. When they started slow again, and for the Bengals too. I mean, if they could win this game, they would kind of stop that trend that they seem to have of slow starts. You look at like 22, right? If they don't start 0-2, and maybe they were 1-3 at one point, I'm not quite sure, but if they don't start 0-2, they're potentially hosting the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, right? And maybe things are a little bit different. And then last year they started slow yet again, and they fought back, but still missed the playoffs because of the slow start. So they can win this game. You have a leg up on Kansas City in mathematical tiebreakers. You're staying, assuming the Steelers hang on and win, you're only staying a game behind Pittsburgh. You're with the Browns at 1-1. You're ahead of the Ravens. But I think, again, this is just, a really good feel-good win for them, not having T. Higgins. And this isn't, Joe Burrow's still there. A lot of the same faces are still there. But this isn't quite the Bengals team that went to the Super Bowl. No more Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
No more Tyler Boyd. No more Joe Mixon. So now you're winning with the Yoshavash. You're winning with Jermaine Burton, who had his first NFL catch. You're winning with Mike Gesicki, who had a nice 4th down catch earlier in this game. So for the new Bengals, this can kind of show, for Joe Burrow, right? Like, there were still questions about whether or not his wrist was all the way back. And I've always said, if he's healthy, he's just as good as Patrick Mahomes, which some people might think is blasphemous, but I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
And so far, he's showing that today.
Well, hey, I tell you what, Bryan, man, as always, nobody covers the AFC North and the Steelers like you do. We will have you back on here and continue to break down that AFC North. Thanks a lot, my man.
Thank you, Bryan.
Oh, anytime, guys. Great to speak with you as always. Great show.
All right, thank you. Bryan DeArdo, CBSSports.com, senior writer, joining us. And so Patrick Mahomes did throw his second pick of the game. I guess it was a little premature there, but this time it looked like he was trying to throw a deep pass, which was intended for Xavier Worthy. It was intercepted by Taylor Brett at the Cincinnati 40, and looked like the Bengals they're getting ready to go into the fourth quarter, but they're in business. And you know what? When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show here. Of course, man, I'm thinking we got another hour or so, but we don't. We got to get ready for a game tonight. So hey, stick around. We will close out the show here and get all the latest updates on what's happening in the evening games. The MeanGene Show with Jacob Meadows right here, ESPN 97.5.
ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
For the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's MeanGene.
All right. Oh, man, we're about to wrap it up here at the last segment of the MeanGene Show on a Sunday. And once again, we are early today to make room for tonight's game happening at NRG Stadium. The Texans are getting ready to host the Chicago Bears. That game is going to kick off in about an hour and 30 minutes, Jacob. Are you excited?
Give or take. I'm so excited. Week 1 was good because it was a divisional matchup, right? The Colts are always a good game. But we get rookie Caleb Williams after all the Bears chatter all offseason. This Houston defense has improved. Our offense looks good. I am excited for what is to come from this game.
Can't wait, man. And we want to thank Bryan DeArdo for joining us in that last segment there to talk about the AFC. Look, we do have a final and afternoon game there, and that would be the Arizona Cardinals 31-point win over the Rams, 41-10. So that is the worst butt whipping of the day. And for all you Arizona Cardinal fans, congratulations there. And Rams fans, man, look like they're going to have to try to regroup and recover from that divisional loss.
T's and P's.
Which makes it even worse. Normally you don't see those type of beatdowns in your own division. This Kansas City-Cincinnati game is just going back and forth. Now, it is the Chiefs 23-22 with 15 minutes left to go in this game, man. This is going to come down to whoever has the ball last.
Or whoever makes the last mistake. I mean, Patrick Mahomes throws the interception, right? It's how Cincinnati got the ball back. Joe Burrow's the reason that that Kansas City just scored because Joe Burrow fumbled the ball, lost the fumble, and then, boom, you get another toucher for Kansas City.
Yeah, this is crazy. So I think the 2-point conversion failed. Mahomes' pass to Worthy was incomplete, but they wanted to get that extra. But anyway, how about this game? This is crazy. This is an incredible game. We just talked about it in the last segment, how important this AFC matchup is. These two teams have seen each other in the AFC Championship games before, and the only team that's ever really gotten past the Chiefs is the Bengals.
Yeah.
And you know, to get to the Super Bowl against the Rams a couple of years ago. But incredible game. So, look, we're going to be gone, but we got to keep our eye on this game while we're getting ready for the other game. So there's one game that we did not talk about today. It's our last recap game here, and that's going to be the Commanders and the Giants. So it was appropriate that we say this. This was, look, the battle of last and dead last, right? I don't say, everyone knows this is the Eagles' division to take now. Cowboys fans would disagree with that because it's still a young season.
Week 2.
Yeah, I know. I had to say it. It's still a young season.
Poor AJ.
But anyway, the Washington Commanders get their first win of the season with Jaden Daniels over the Giants, who are 0-2 all of a sudden. Washington wins 21-18, Jacob.
And there were positives on both sides of the field for this one, right? Like you finally saw a little bit of offensive output by the Giants, albeit they lost. But Daniel Jones was dealing a little bit. The run game looked good. Devin Singletary almost went over 100 yards. Like you had some people participate.
Well, Neighbors, how about another
Malik
wide
Neighbors
receiver?
Goes over 100 for the first time as a rookie wide receiver.
Targeted 18 times. I'm like, hello.
The whole offense. He was the whole offense. Yes. And then on the flip side, right, Jaden Daniels took a bunch of knocks after week 1 for not throwing the ball enough. He had 17 attempts through not 17 attempts through the air. He had 29 attempts through the air in this game, connected on 23 of them, spread the ball around to multiple receivers. Even Scary Terry got involved a little bit, which my fantasy team will eventually be happy
You're talking about a player on the decline. Look, if you're Darius Slayton and Wendell Robinson, you got to be thinking like, man, hey, am I not on this team?
I'm still here. Yeah.
18 targets because Slayton only had 4 targets. Okay. He caught 3 for 33 yards. Robinson, who is an interesting guy.
Yeah, he's a good player, too.
Really
Another
only had 4
targets.
So, but the Commanders' defense, you know, I guess it just made it easy for them to know. We know who you're going to be throwing the ball to.
You double Malik Neighbors.
You double him, but he still got 127 yards. But, man, big win there for Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Getting his first win in this NFC East divisional matchup here. Now the Giants, and look, I've been saying this. I think this is Brian Daboll. Something's going to have to give. It's either
going to be on the hot seat.
Daniel Jones or Daboll. Somebody's going to have to go.
Yep. And it just as a side note, just because I just realized this, Noah Brown caught 3 had 3 targets, had 3 catches for 56 yards for the Commanders. It looks good to see him having some sort of success outside of Houston. Houston just dumped him right before the regular season. He's already making an impact with Washington. But yeah, Brian Daboll. This is going to be him or Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is on that big contract still.
Yeah.
You have to wonder how the Giants pivot with this one because
if Jones,
something's got to change.
He goes and tells management that, look, I don't like the way this offense is moving. Somebody's going to go.
Somebody.
You always make the offensive coordinator scapegoat, but I think he's on another offensive coordinator, too.
Yep, he sure is.
So, interesting. We got to pick this Sunday night game here, which I think everyone knows where we're going to go with this. We picked the Texans to win the AFC South. They have a chance to go 2-0 there in that division there, and undefeated, on the season, young season, although. But I got to think they have seen all the hype. Probably had a chance to scout the team when they were on Hard Knocks there. I mean, everybody got a little inside information there on the Bears. But I think this is going to be a great game tonight. Can't wait to watch it. Got the Texans winning tonight. Stephon Diggs, his debut with the Texans. Joe Mixon's debut with the Texans was just stellar. They did this on the road. I got to think they're going to put on a show for the home.
It's going to be a clinic, I hope. Yeah,
I just feel that.
I have to. I hate saying it too many times. I feel like I'm going to jinx us. But, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more Dalton Schultz than we saw in week 1. I think Joe Mixon's going to turn it on again. I think we might see more Tank Dell than Stephon Diggs this week just because.
A bunch of targets. Nico Collins,
he was sick earlier in the week, Nico Collins was. It'll be interesting to see what he does today because he's been sick. That he was questionable up until like a day or two ago.
Though. I mean, one step
so
down.
Many mouths to
got,
feed.
AJ, your take on who wins tonight and how?
Yeah, I mean, the Texans should win, obviously. I mean, they can impose in that running game with Joe Mixon like they did last week. But, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Chicago, they had a bounce-back game and played really, really well. I mean, their defense is nice and stout, but really it's their offense to get going because, I mean, last week it didn't look good at all in the Titans. I mean, I think Caleb Williams was trying to improvise too much like he did in college, and that's not going to work because the athletes now are way quicker, way more talented.
Much more athletic.
Yeah. But I think the Texans should win, but, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago
upset them.
Imagine
the storyline. I know nobody reads newspapers anymore, but the front page story, Bears 2-0.
Right.
And then you got the Bears and the Vikings would be 2-0 in that NFC North. Wouldn't that be?
That would be.
I mean, I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't either. But I will say DeAndre Swift is probably going to be the X factor in this game as RB1 for the Bears. Week 1 against the Colts, the Texans had some trouble stopping Jonathan Taylor, stopping Anthony Richardson. Like the run game kind of hurt him a little bit. And if DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert can really get the ball rolling for Chicago, you could see Chicago, kind of like what AJ said, you could see Chicago hanging this game better than what people are expecting. And they could they could surprise some people.
I'm going to say 31-10 Texans. That's my score for the night, 31-10.
28-13 Texans. That's going to be mine.
What you got, AJ?
I'll say 27-17 Texans.
All right.
I like that one. Yeah.
So, also tomorrow night, big game there, NFC matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFC East versus the Atlanta Falcons of the NFC South. So Eagles, big win. They haven't played a game since the opening season there in Brazil, so plenty of rest there. And Eagles look good. Saquon Barkley looked good in his debut with the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning this game tomorrow night, but can't wait to see what the Falcons display.
I'd like to see the Falcons win that game. I really would, just for Captain Kirk and for everybody. Like all the movement that's happened with the Atlanta Falcons. You have Justin Simmons and Matt Judon and the guys come over on defense. You bring in Kirk on offense, and there's this renewed sense that the Atlanta's going to be relevant in some way. They looked terrible in week 1. It looked like Kirk had missed some football and that he was a little rusty, kind of similar to the Aaron Rodgers situation. I like the Eagles to win this game. I like the Eagles to win this game pretty commandingly. But it would be cool to see Atlanta come out, go 1-1, beat the Eagles like that.
And just shake things up, right?
Yeah, just
give us something to talk about.
NFC's already chaotic after today. Why not make it worse?
All right, folks. Hey, that's about going to wrap it up for us. Steelers up 13-3, 8 minutes left to go in that game in the fourth. the Chiefs. Keep your eye on the Chiefs in the Kansas City game because I have a feeling it could go into overtime. But, hey, right now Chiefs lead 23-22. We are going to get out of here and make room for whatever else is coming on after us. I don't know. Probably more scores and updates. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the show today. And we'll see you back here next week on the Mean Gene Show with Mean Gene and Jacob Meadows and AJ. Enjoy the game tonight.
What's up, y'all? This is Drewski, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. The app is real simple to use. Pick 2 or more players and pick more or less on their projection. Prize Picks puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my lineup hits, I can get my money in less than 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match players on different sports, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy app with injury insurance. If one of your players go down in the first half, Prize Pick does not count as a loss.
Right now, Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code GOAL. That's code GOAL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
I joined the United States Navy as a hospital corpsman during Operation Iraqi Freedom. That really drove me to become a registered nurse.
Brandy enrolled in Baylor's Distance Accelerated program for a nursing degree in under a year.
Baylor's a great program, and they're known throughout the world, and I really wanted to be a part of that.
World-class faculty, distance learning, one-on-one support.
The knowledge that I learned from my great professors here at Baylor, absolutely amazing.
Become a nurse in less than 1 year. Your time is now. Visit myabsn.com. myabsn.com.
These days, everything in Houston costs more. But a single line at Verizon doesn't. Get one line for as low as $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while coffee is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. And dinner for 2 has gotten pricey. Verizon, less pricey. Midtown rent, that's not coming down. But Verizon, down. One line for just $50 a month. That designer golden doodle, so much more. But Verizon, a fair bit less. Even a good old tried and true hamburger will cost you more. But with Verizon, the same tried and true service is now just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Point is, in a world that is always costing more, you can get more for less right now at a Houston Verizon store. $15 promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.